All right, guys. Well, welcome back. We are going to look over the 2016 test problem 4. Um, yeah, so let's get right into it. This question involves the process of taking a list of words called word list and producing a formatted string of specified length. The list word list contains at least 2 words consisting of letters only. When formatted string is constructed, spaces are placed in gaps between the words so as many spaces as possible are evenly distributed to each gap. The equal number of spaces inserted into each gap is referred to as the basic gap width. Any leftover spaces are inserted one at a time into the gaps from left to right until there are no more leftover spaces. All right, let's look at the example here. Example 1, word list AP comp sci rocks. Yes, it does. Here's the formatted string AP comp sci rocks. And I've got, it looks like, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 spaces in between all of them. So that would be that basic gap width thing. And it doesn't look like there are any leftover spaces for that one. And I guess we can confirm that right here. Basic gap width 2, 0 leftover spaces. Cool. All right, next one. Example, word list, green, eggs, and ham. Basic gap width is 1. There's 2 leftover spaces. Let's see what that looks like. Basic gap width is 1, except I've got 2 here. 2, 1. Okay, well that's because I'm filling these leftover spaces. The 2 leftover spaces are here, and I'm popping them in. All right. I think I've got kind of the idea. Let's actually read what they want us to do. Okay. You will implement 3 static methods in a class named string formatter that is not shown. Okay. So, part A. Write the string formatter method total letters, which returns total number of letters in the word in its parameter word list. For example, if the variable list string words is a frog is, then call the string formatter dot total letters words. The call string formatter dot total letters words returns 7. You may assume that all words in the word list consist of one or more letters. Complete the method below. 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. Okay. All right. I think I know how to do that. So let's write some code. Okay. Public static int total letters, and it takes a list of strings, a list of string called words. It might be word list, but yeah, I think it's word list. Total letters. Public static. Okay, so how do I get all of the letters in every single one? Well, I guess I just go through the list and I add up all their lengths and return that. So first thing I need is int result equals 0 for, and we're going to use an enhanced for loop for word string word in word list. Result plus equals word dot length. Remember, for strings we use the parentheses, and then we'll just return result. I think that will give us the length of all of the strings, or that'll give us the total number of letters in all the strings. Let's check the canonical solution. All right, we're here at part A. Public static int total letters list of strings word list. Yeah, I did remember that right. Int total equals 0 for string word in word list. Total plus equals word dot length. Return total. Yeah, man, nailed it. Nailed it. So we matched the canonical solution, means we got full points. Okay, on to part B. Part B, write the string formatter method basic gap width, which returns the basic gap width as defined earlier. And I'm looking for it. Here it is. Public static int basic gap width list of string word list and int formatted len. Okay, that's the length of the total string. Cool. I think we can do this. Public static int basic gap width, and it takes a list of strings called word list, just like before. And it also takes an int formatted len. Basically, the basic gap width is going to be the total letters subtracted from the formatted length divided by the number of gaps that there are going to be, and the number of gaps is going to be the number of words minus 1. So, return the total letters minus the format, or subtracted from the formatted len. So formatted len minus total letters, and I'm just going to have to pass in here word list. Using that method from before, all right. Okay, formatted len minus total letters. That will give me the total letters I have to work with, but I still have to divide that by the number of gaps that I have, and the number of gaps I have is going to be equal to my number of words in my word list minus 1, because there's always going to be one less gap than there is words. So I'll say word list dot size minus 1. All right, I think that should do it. Let's double check with the canonical solution. Part B, public static int basic gap width list of string word list int formatted len. Got the signature right. Woot. Return formatted len minus total letters word list. Yep, got it. Divided by word list dot size minus 1. Boom. All right. So we got the canonical solution there too. Moving on to part C. C, write the string formatter method format, which returns the formatted string as defined earlier. The string formatter class also contains a method called leftover spaces, which has already been implemented. This method returns the number of leftover spaces as defined earlier and is shown below. Okay, public static int leftover spaces, list of string word list, int formatted len, and it returns a number of leftover spaces when word list is used to produce a formatted string of formatted len characters. So we have to do format, but we have public static total letters, public static basic gap width, leftover spaces, so we just have to do this guy using all those. So the plan for formatting is use basic gap width, and we need to add each word in the word list to a string with a basic gap width sized space in between each of the words. And then we need to also add any leftover spaces there are starting at the first gap. So I think we can do this all with like a for loop. I think I know how to write the code, so let's go write the code. Public static string format list of string word list as usual, and int formatted len. We need to we do need to do a loop, and we're going to add all these things, all the strings inside my word list to a final string. So we do need like a result string. So I'll say string result equals nothing that we're going to add to, and then I could say for string word in word list. In each case, we need to add the word to result. So result plus equals word. Cool. And we're going to need to add a basic gap width sized space, which we don't have. So there's a few ways we can do that. I think I would like to just do it up here. We'll use a for loop to make that space. So I'll say string basic gap equals nothing. And then for int I equals 0, I is less than basic gap width. And I have to do word list. And I have to do formatted len. Okay. I++. So for basically as large as the basic gap is, I'm going to add a space. So I'll say basic gap plus equals a space character. So that'll give me the basic gap that I need to add in. So that'll be good. I'm going to zoom down here. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. Result plus equals basic gap. And then I need to add, as long as they exist, I need to add the extra spaces from leftovers. So I probably also need to do one more thing here. I need to say int leftovers equals leftover spaces. And that takes the word list again and the formatted len. Okay, and so basically what we need to do is we need to add a word, add the basic gap, and then if leftovers is greater than 0, we're going to do result plus equals an extra space. And actually this is a 2-liner here, so I need to do this. I also need to, at that point, take my leftovers and subtract 1. I only want to do that if I actually added an extra space, right? And then I think that's good. And at the very end, this is supposed to return a string, and the string is result, so I'm just going to return result. Okay, I feel good about that. Let's double check this with the canonical solution. Okay, part C. Public static string format, list string, word list, int format. Okay, our signature matches, string formatted equals blank, int gap width equals basic gap width word list, formatted len, int leftovers equals leftover spaces word list. So they're using integers there, and then they say for int w equals 0, w is less than word list dot size minus 1, w plus plus, formatted equals formatted plus word list dot get w. So that's them adding each word. For int I equals 0, I is less than gap width I plus plus. Formatted equals formatted plus a space. So that's them adding the basic gap. And then if leftovers is greater than 0, formatted equals formatted plus space, leftovers minus minus. So that's them adding the leftovers, kind of like we did. And finally, after the loop, formatted equals formatted plus word list dot get word list dot size minus 1. Oh, okay, that's the very last index and return formatted. Okay, so our solution was almost correct. The reason that they go from wordlist.size, they go wordlist.size minus 1. We don't want the basic gap and the leftover spaces to be added after everything, which is why I can't just go straight through using the enhanced for loop. So I'm going to go fix that. Okay, so instead of string word in word list, we need to do kind of what they did. We need to do int I equals 0. I is less than word list dot size minus 1 I plus plus. To make this still work nicely, I could say word string word equals word list dot get I. Now all the rest of this still works, and it's just right before the end of the for loop I have to add the last word. So I'm going to say result dot add word list dot get word list dot size minus 1. We're just going to get the last index and add it to the result. And now our solution matches their solution. I think ours is easier to follow because you're doing less in a single loop, but basically it's the same thing. All right, guys, well, that is going to do it for problem 4 on the 2016 test. I hope it was helpful. If it was, give a like. If you have a question, leave it in the comments. Otherwise, we'll see you at the next video. Thanks for watching.